There's a tool within the Squarespace website platform that I think can be a really useful part of managing your bakery if you accept custom orders, whether that's for cakes, cupcakes, bread, whatever bake that you do within your bakery. It is called Invoicing, and it is really a simple project manager or client relationship manager that's built directly into the Squarespace dashboard. There is a full kind of information page on the Squarespace website, which you can go and read up on if you would like more information. It's a fairly new addition to the platform, and they are still working on developing it. I'm really excited about this new feature that is still coming soon, or multiple features actually. They are proposals, payment schedules, and agreements. So for your bakery, I can imagine sending a quote out to a potential client with the details of their cake order or their bake order. They can then accept that quote. That can also be tied into an agreement, so your bakery terms and conditions. And then there can be a payment schedule, which would allow them to pay a deposit and then maybe split the payments over the weeks or months in the run up to their event, whether that's a wedding or a big celebration that you are catering. So back in our dashboard, you can access this invoicing platform if we just head back to the start here, if you select selling and then select invoicing. So like I said, it is relatively simple. On this dashboard, we have the option to send an invoice or create a project. You can then see previous projects listed here. They can be organized by project name or date. Within these projects, you've got the name of the project, the client, the project total, and that reflects the value of invoices that have been sent. So if you have more than one, this total will kind of add up as they're sent out. Recent activity, which just lets you know the last thing you did within this project. Milestone, and that refers to this list here, which is really a bit of a checklist where you can add dates and tasks, and that just allows you to stay organized throughout the project, and you can satisfyingly check those off as they're completed, and it will let you know what and when the next milestone is due. There's a notes section which you can use to share details of the order, whether that's what the sort of flavour and decoration is, maybe it is the delivery or drop-off address, anything that you think is really key to the project that you would like to have in an easy to refer to area. Then you have your invoices. So as I kind of mentioned when we were looking at the coming soon section, at the moment, you can only send an invoice for a single value. So if you're just invoicing for the full balance of your order, that's no problem. You could create that invoice and send it out. If you are wanting to issue a deposit first, we do have to create that as a separate invoice. But it just means going through the add invoice process twice. And you can see in this example, I've done a deposit for £20 and then the final balance for £50. This is set up in pounds because that is my local currency, but you can set this up in whatever your local currency is. At the bottom, there's this section called Form Submissions, and that ties in with one of the ways you can add projects to this system. So Form Submissions refers to the order form you have on your website. So if I just go full screen here, you can have your contact or your order form on your bakery website, and when somebody fills this information out, so of course you'll ask whatever questions are going to be most useful for you when starting an order or starting an inquiry about an order. So let's say, please can I have 12 chocolate cupcakes? And then they would submit that. Once that has been submitted, of course it will get emailed to you, but it's also stored under contacts. And we've got this option called Form Submitters. And you'll see this is the form I've just submitted. If we click through here, we can see that is the information that I had just submitted in my form. So you'll see all your customer inquiries listed on this page And directly from this form, you can select to create a project. And that's a really great kind of workflow for you if you are taking order inquiries through your website and then you want to take this straight over into a project where you can invoice your customer. So we'll just take a moment to take us over to that part of the site and then generate our project. So you'll see down at the bottom here, now we've got that form submission, and that's really easy for you to refer to whilst you're building out this project and also in the future when you come back to it. So what we might want to do at this stage is continue with the setup. So we'll just add milestone and we can just say order placed. You don't need to mark this in because we've got that form submission which has the date on it, but if you did want to do that, we could add that in here. And you can add as many or as few milestones as you think is going to work for you. So we'll say bake week, and I don't remember what collection date I added in that example form, but we'll just say bake week in the 5th of November, and then cupcakes to be delivered. And we'll just pick a random date in the future. So now all of those tasks are going to be listed here. You'll see what's up next. And once that's been completed, we can check that off. Under notes, you can type in your own notes in here, or you could grab some details from the form submission and paste those in here. And just remember to save those. The final step will be to invoice. So you will just first click create invoice. And here you'll see a template of what the invoice is going to look like when it lands in your customer's email. And from here we can start to build out all of the information that's going to fill out this invoice. But before we go any further, there are two things I would like to pause for that we should set up first. So what we're seeing on screen here is an example visually of what the email is going to look like. And at the moment it's a little bit bland, it's not taking on any of our branding, and we just want to make sure the whole process for your customers is beautiful and branded and makes you look really professional. The second thing we'll need to do is connect up a payment processor. So when somebody clicks pay invoice, they will be paying you via Stripe or PayPal. So we'll just exit out of here, and this will save as a draft that we can come back to. And you can see here we've got our draft. And what we'll do first is connect up the payment processor, and then we'll customize the email. So if we head into settings, scroll down to our selling section and then store payments. Here you've got the option to connect up Stripe or PayPal, or you can connect them both up. If you don't have an account with either of these, if you click connect, it will first ask for your email address, and it will then recognize that you don't have an account and take you through the steps to set up an account. So it will just allow you to connect your bank account to Stripe and or PayPal, so that when people pay you, that money is going straight to your account. So I'm already logged in. I'll click connect, and it will just take a moment to make that connection. This pop-up will close down, and you'll see a little green connected. So it's really straightforward, and connecting PayPal is the exact same process. You'll click connect. In fact, that is one little quirk that I do just want to point out. This demo website that I am doing my video on is still in trial mode, so I've not upgraded my Squarespace platform to the paid account. You do have to do that before you can connect your PayPal account, but that is something you'll be doing anyway before you start sending out invoices through Squarespace. So just something to note if you're just kind of testing this feature out or getting things set up before you go live with your site. So we'll leave this as just Stripe connected for now. And the next thing we want to do is customize that email. So we'll do that by selecting under selling, selling tools. And if we just scroll down to customer notifications. So these customer notifications are setting up the template style for any email that is going out in your business. So if you do have an online shop already in your bakery website, and for example, if you've used one of my templates, we've gone through customizing these emails for your orders. That template will be carried through to your invoices, so you can skip this step if you would like. But what we'll do if we're starting from scratch is on this global email styles tab is select edit email. If you've already gone through the process of customizing your website, there's a really handy tool here called Quickly Match Your Site. If we click that, it will pull out the themes that you've created on your website. So when you were setting up your colors and your fonts, and you can check or you can click on some of these and you can see how that is going to add some of that branding. So I think if we go for this simple white theme, but it is giving us our pink button and this grey background, I might go and make a little tweak to that. We can also then upload a logo. So the template website I'm working on at the moment doesn't have a logo uploaded. If it did, that would be shown here and we could select insert logo and that would automatically add it to our email. If you don't have a logo on your site but you would like to use one on the email, click on this box and then select image and then add an image. You can then upload a file, upload your logo. So I'll just upload the Make This Happen logo for ease. And that will just take a moment and load up. You can adjust the height here. And we can also change the position under styles and then layout. And you can choose to leave it left aligned, or I quite like using the center alignment. And we can also change the background, which is this section color. And we can adjust the padding. So I think we've got a bit much padding at the top there. So we can just drag this down until we get a look that we like. So then if we click just anywhere in the background section of our kind of preview, we can adjust some of the colors and just the general styles. So if I click email background, first I've got two options, I should say. There's email palette, and that refers to any of the colors that have been used in the email so far. There's also the option to use the site palette, and again that's just pulling those theme colors that we set up during the site customization. So I think this cream color will be a really nice option. If you'd like to use a brand new color that you've not yet used, under email palette, you can just use this slider to pick a color, or you can double click in this code section and paste in your hex code for one of your brand colors. And once you've selected that, if you click that plus over that color, it will add it as a swatch, which means it will be in this list of colors ready for you to use somewhere else. So you don't need to kind of go through that process of adding the color every single time. Content background refers to what's behind the text. I like to leave that as white really. I think it's nice and easy for people to read this important information. And then there is line color. So you can see these little lines here. I would maybe make that in the pink. For fonts, it is limited in what type of font you can add. Because it's an email, it has to be a font that is compatible with all types of email software, all types of computers, devices, mobiles, tablets, etc. So we are limited in what font styles we can use. There are sans, so that's those simple fonts without any of those kind of decorative ends on the ends of the letters. And there's a range of thicknesses. So you can see if we click on any of these, that will be applied. There's a serif version, which again, as you can see that updating here, a range of weights and sizes, and then a mixture of the two. So maybe if you wanted to have that serif, sans serif for the main text and the serif font for your titles. So whichever you think is going to most closely reflect your branding. You can then make further adjustments to the header, so that's where we've added the logo. The footer section, so down at the bottom here. This linked site title will just pull in the name of your business. But you can also turn on additional business information like a physical location if you have one, add in your tax ID. If you have social links added to your website, you can toggle this on and those will automatically be pulled in here. And those same options to change the background color, the padding, the text color as well. And the last option is the button. So you can change the style of that. And again, the padding, so that refers to the space above and below. And we can center that up. And you can adjust the color. I think it works nicely in the pink, but it's just, again, those same color options that can be taken from the email palette or the site palette. So this looks much more branded, and this will be a much nicer experience for people to receive as an invoice. So once we're happy with this, we can select save. And that's just confirming it's been saved and published. So if we now head back to our invoicing area, we can continue our process of adding an invoice into our new project. So we'll click on these three dots, we'll click edit, and you can see there is the template of our invoice. It looks really nice, really on brand, and of course it will have your own logo, your own colours, etc. So we'll go through this process from start to finish. Invoice name, so you can just say invoice for, then the name of your client, or it could be invoice for the order name or the order details. So in this case it was 12 cupcakes. Or you can say order deposit, however is going to make most sense to you and the customer receiving it. And you can see that has updated here. If we click on due date, by default it's selected to be due when the person receives it. If you'd prefer to give them 2 weeks or 7 days to pay, uncheck that box and then pick the date in the future that you would like it to be due. The memo refers to this text here, so we can click into that and just add additional details. Thanks for your business, and you can paste in something custom to the particular customer, or just something a bit more personalized than just thanks for your business. Then we have this order summary section, and that is where we're going to add the individual items or the single item that is included within this invoice. So if we click add line item, we in this case could just say, let's just say chocolate cupcakes. And the options are service or physical. I recommend just leaving this as service, although you are creating a physical product, as in the cake is a real physical thing. It will ask your customer to provide a delivery address. It will add on shipping as if it's something that you're going to be posting out, and that's not how it's going to work for you. It's something that you're going to either be delivering or they'll be collecting, and I imagine that you'll kind of create a custom delivery fee if required, and we'll add that as a line item rather than just using the kind of USPS or the Royal Mail shipping fee. So you can do this as a set amount for your cupcakes, or you could say it's £4 a cupcake and add in quantity 12, and that will just add it up. If we click done, you can see we've got our 12 £4 cupcakes coming to £48. So let's go with that, and we'll add a new item, and we will just say delivery, and maybe that is going to be £5. If you're adding multiple items, so maybe you've got your 12 cupcakes, you're also doing 50 biscuits and also an 8-inch cake, you'll just continue to add new items until everything here is listed, and you'll see that running total will be automatically calculated for you. You can add a discount if you've agreed something with a customer or it's a special offer. If we toggle that on, we can either add a percentage discount. So if we did that as 10%, that will automatically be generated for you. Or it could be a set amount, so maybe a £15 discount, and again that will be automatically generated for you. Once you're happy with all of the information here, you can select to go back, or you can just go ahead and send it. If you click back, that will save it as a draft again, but in this case we will send, and it will just let you know that this is going to be sent, and then it can't then be edited again until the payment has been made. So if we scroll down here, we can see our invoice listed as unpaid. When your customer pays that, the project total will pop up to the £53 and you will see this noted as paid. When your customer receives the invoice, it will read invoice from Ever So Sweet, which in this example is the name of the bakery, even though I used the Bake This Happen logo. Please don't be confused by that. You'll then see this is the invoice that we've created. We've got all of our line items, the cupcakes and the delivery, the total. And when they click pay invoice, it will take them over to your website's checkout page where they can go through the purchase process. So you can see this looks a little bland. In a moment, I'm going to show you how we can make some small customizations to this to really pull through the design of your website and echo your branding once again. But here they would be able to add in their email address, continue, and then insert their payment information, review and purchase, and that will be then your invoice paid. And in the back end, you'll receive a notification that the payment has been made by your client. And this will turn green and say paid, and the project total will pop up to £53. So the last thing you'd want to do to set up this whole invoicing system is just make that little customization to the checkout page. If you select website, scroll down and look for system pages, you'll then see checkout. This will just take a moment to load up, and here you can see that is that checkout page your customer was working with. You can change the background color, and annoyingly it doesn't pull in those theme colors from your website, so you will need to grab whatever hex code it is you are using on your website. So I have grabbed mine in here so we can place that off-white color. If you've uploaded a logo to your website, you can check this box to show the site logo. I've again just added the Bake This Happen logo. Header color refers to that background, so we can add that in again just so it looks like all one page. There's this header border color, which is this very fine line here. Personally, I like to just make that the same color as the background so that it just disappears. I think it looks just a bit neater and a bit slicker. And the next option is to change the alignment, so you can choose what you think is going to work best with your logo. And finally is the button color. So I'll just grab a random color here that I think is going to look nice. I'll go for a nice bright Bake This Happen pink. And when you're happy with those customizations, select save. So now if we went back to the invoice and selected pay invoice, the checkout page would also be on brand, and it just makes that whole process from your customer receiving the invoice to landing on the payment page really slick and really professional and really easy for them, which is the main thing. We want a system that's easy for you to manage and that's easy for your customers to work with as well. So I hope you found this walkthrough, get to know tutorial kind of combo video helpful. If you have any questions about using this system within your website or your bakery, please let me know. You can add a comment on this video or send me an email anytime at kirsty@bakethishappen.com.